It feels so fucking simple, honestly. Genuinely, I'm pissed that all the trauma researchers have been men because, like, they had the space in society to regulate their fucking bodies. And people believed them about their experience. And so then they went on and they wrote things like Body Keeps the Score and the physiological stuff and appropriated it from people of color and women and cultures who have been coping with trauma and using cannabis and using substances to cope with the physiological arousal system with no shame. It's only when shame got introduced and the war on drugs that it became like, well, apparently certain people are not allowed to have access to the substances that help them regulate their nervous system so they function on a normal level like everybody else. I'm pissed that it's moms who are going to have to solve this for people. Moms, the ones who never got to be kids as children because we were the high achievers, the ones who now have kids who we have to cope with, we're the ones. Like a fucking course we are. Of course, it couldn't be the professionals. It couldn't be the men who didn't have to raise the kids, who went on and got a career. It couldn't be that they could turn around and look back and offer a hand to all the fucking high achieving autistic women who got trapped in motherhood and had mental fucking breakdowns because this didn't work for us, having people have demands on us all the time, right? Like, I'm just pissed. I'm pissed about the trauma researchers. I'm pissed that they didn't take the time to figure out how this looked in women and figure out that women, for some reason, girls are more likely to push through this as children. I'm pissed. And then later on, we're like, wow, women just have all of these autoimmune disorders. It's just crazy. Women just seem susceptible to this. It's fucking undiagnosed autism and neurodivergence and trauma and nervous system disorders. How many of your moms said, my nerves are shot, my nerves are shot? She was right. So many of them were right. But there's a culture of silence. Women are not allowed to speak. Well, I'm speaking because I got a PhD, and so I feel like I'm allowed to for some reason. So I'm speaking to say having kids triggers the midlife crisis for so many people eventually because our bodies cannot handle these physiological demands because we don't have enough physical support. Because the nervous system is a system, and when it's out of whack, it doesn't work, and there's nothing you can do other than address it physiologically, physically, take care of yourself, which you cannot do when you have babies. It's so hard. It's so hard, and I'm pissed that no men have cared about this issue enough to do it because no men have been trapped at home like we have. So, ugh, this is how it all intersects. And I'm going to stop apologizing for my autistic pattern matching brain because I think I'm going to fucking solve it for us. So, glad it was worth it. Glad my body could be sacrificed on the altar of capitalism so we could solve this fucking thing and stop traumatizing our children. All the fucking high achieving autistic women who got trapped in motherhood and had mental
PSA to young autistic women or women who might think they have autism: don't have kids. This creator is talking about how all the research on autism has been done by men who can't relate to the experience of being a mom who is autistic, stuck at home, trying to raise kids and managing all those demands. I got lucky. I was raised in a very uncomfortable and traumatic household, and it led me to the decision at a very early age not to have kids because I recognized that I wasn't happy. I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know how I could possibly raise happy kids given the experience that I had. I had no idea how to do it, so I just didn't. And now I'm in my mid to late 30s. I am childless, and I cannot fathom trying to balance everything that I do now with practically any other human, let alone little people who are relying on me for their survival. Now, I have heard that there are women who really, really would feel unfulfilled in their lives without having kids. I can't say I relate to that. But what I can say is that if you're an autistic woman who doesn't feel a particular need to have children, don't do it. And if you do feel that particular need, you need a support system. And that's not just a supportive spouse. Do some research on how to raise kids in a community type of environment. Look into quality of life across the world and decide where it might be smart to raise kids. Because if you're in the US, it's not gonna be easy. And if you're able to put yourself in a great location and surround yourself with lots of support, go for it. But trust me, you do not need to have children to feel fulfilled in your life. And if you want to feel emotionally, mentally, physically, financially stable, life without kids, it's not so bad.